There's a code running your life, an invisible script written long before you knew how to think. You felt it on random days when you stop and think, why does my life feel like it's on repeat? You felt it in that inner nudge saying, you're meant for more than this. And that nudge was right, because beneath the routine you've settled into, beneath the expectations you've carried, beneath the identity the world wrapped around you, something else has always been alive inside you. There is a hidden operating system. What if the universe was running a silent program, and you were never supposed to see the code? Every thought you think, every fear that controls you, every habit you repeat without realizing, every identity you cling to, none of it is random. None of it is accidental. It all emerges from that invisible programming. The top 1% didn't stumble into success. They decoded parts of that program. They saw patterns the rest of the world missed. They understood the rules of the game while everyone else was just playing along. And once you see the rules, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start rewriting. People will tell you success is about hard work. But hard work is a tool, a hammer, a wrench, useful, but meaningless without direction. The real game is about understanding the invisible, structure underneath, life, the mental algorithms, the psychological codes, the hidden triggers that shape perception and behavior. Once you understand the code, your actions become amplified. Your decisions sharpen, your identity upgrades, and your life begins obeying a different logic. Your mind is a program, a running script. Every belief you have was written into you. Every fear was downloaded. Every insecurity was installed. You didn't choose your code, you inherited it. Your parents gave you a part of it. School gave you another. Society, culture, friends, trauma, experiences. They layered the instructions. And you woke up one day believing that this version of you is who you are. But it's not. It's just the code you're running. And here's the powerful truth no one teaches. A program can be rewritten. A code can be upgraded. A mind can be rebuilt. You are not fixed. You are editable, modifiable, evolvable. Your identity is not a cage. It's a configuration. People who rise to the top didn't get lucky. They simply stopped running the default script. They discovered override commands. They learned the patterns behind human behavior. They saw their own programming from the outside. And once you see your code from the outside, you gain a power most will never experience. But before we go deeper, understand this clearly. This content is not for everyone. Some people are addicted to being controlled. Some want to stay in loops because loops feel familiar. Some prefer comfort over truth. Some would rather be distracted than awakened. Some fear the idea that they could redesign themselves, because redesigning yourself requires confronting everything that's been holding you back. This content is not for them. This is for you, the one who feels the quiet pull of evolution. And if you're still listening, you've already proven something. You value depth more than dopamine. But don't get me wrong. Dopamine is part of the journey, the right kind of dopamine, the kind that expands you, not drains you, the kind that hooks your mind into its own awakening. Life becomes painful when you run an outdated version of yourself, when the world is upgrading every day, but your inner code hasn't changed in years. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're simply unupdated. And you can feel it. That sense that something in you wants to evolve but doesn't know how. That friction is the old code trying to survive. Your environment writes your code more than you realize. You must choose, because the future is shifting faster than anyone is willing to admit. In a few years, the world will not feel like the world you grew up in. Opportunities will multiply, but so will the divide. The rich won't just be wealthier. They'll think differently. The powerful won't just control money. They'll control the architecture of ideas. And the ones who refuse to evolve will become workers for the ones who do. There are people right now learning skills, frameworks, and mindsets that will make them unstoppable. And then there are people scrolling mindlessly, unaware that the future is being written without them. Which one do you want to be? This channel exists for one purpose: to help you upgrade your internal operating system so you don't just survive the future, you influence it. This is for the ones who want to access the hidden architecture of life. The ones who want to see the real structure behind their habits, their identity, their emotions, their failures, their successes. This is for the ones who want to wake up. You're not lost. You're just loading. And the deeper we go, the more your old code begins to shake. You may feel something inside you right now, a mix of curiosity, excitement, fear, possibility. That's the beginning of an identity shift. Here you'll learn the algorithms of the mind. You'll understand the invisible patterns that shape behavior. You'll see why some people rise effortlessly while others drown in effort. You'll learn how habits, beliefs, environments, and emotions create self-fulfilling loops. You'll learn how the top 1% think differently, not because they're better, but because they're coded differently. You'll learn how to rewrite your identity, how to break mental loops, how to replace old programming with new structures, how to align your environment with your goals, how to use your phone as a tool instead of a trap, how to use psychology to reshape your life, how to become someone who is not controlled by the world, but someone who designs their own world. And the deeper we go, the more you'll feel the old version of you dissolving. Your life changes the moment you realize you're not a character in a story. You are the coder of it. And this is only the beginning. The more you comment, respond, engage, and share your thoughts here, the more your mind wires itself to these new codes. You're not commenting for the algorithm. You're commenting for your identity. You're building a neural connection every time you articulate your thoughts. You're strengthening new pathways every time you reflect. You're decoding faster every time you interact. Together, we are building a network of self-programmers. People who don't wait for life to happen, they architect it. People who don't accept their identity, they rewrite it. People who don't get controlled by the world, they decode it. If this is the path you want, subscribe right now. Not because I said so, but because you know this is the upgrade you've been searching for. Comment "While the code is decoding" to anchor your transformation. Share your thoughts, your ideas, your challenges, your reflections. Because the more you engage, the faster the next codes unlock. And listen carefully. If you've made it this far, you are not average. You are not random. You are not ordinary. You are someone who senses the deeper architecture of existence. You feel the code even before seeing it. You feel the patterns even before understanding them. And that alone puts you ahead of most people on this planet. The next episode reveals the first core code used by the top 1%. The code that reshapes identity. The code that changes behavior effortlessly. The code that makes the world bend instead of push back. You're ready for it. The code is already inside you. Now we decode it.